today I need to create a funnel for an opt-in. So I thought I would just record my process and share it with you. So hopefully you can do the same. We will be using ChatGPT to create some text today. And we will be using GoHighLevel's funnel feature to create the actual opt-in funnel. So let's dive in, bringing over my ChatGPT thread here. And I want to go ahead and start at the top and kind of just explain what I did. So I've already created my opt-in and I went ahead and uploaded the PDF here. And I just gave it just a simple, I need to create a funnel and GoHighLevel for this opt-in was the only prompt that I gave it. And you can see it thought for 10 seconds. And it came up with a strategy. We can read this. Let me make it a little bit bigger. And it gave us the name that we should use. It told us a little bit, summarized it, the funnel structure, and all of this section here. And that gives us a subheadline, a short hook, a bullet section, who this guide is for, and get the free guide, suggested form fields, all of this information. Optional Meet Dotty block, and the thank you page, because it knows that that's part of the GoHighLevel funnel, and delivery email, because we have to deliver the PDF to them. And here's a first nurture email, second nurture email, third nurture email, and workflow setup within GoHighLevel. Now, I actually have a custom GPT that I wrote to create sales pages with. So after all of this, it's saying that it mapped out the funnel, gave the nurture flows, suggested some tags, basically summarized what it did. And then I came down here and I pulled in my GPT for writing sales pages. Now, to do that, you simply go into your box where you would type anything. You use the @ symbol and then start to type in what you're looking for. And this is the one. I clicked on it. So now whatever I actually type in this box is talking directly to this GPT. So that's called GPT stacking. And that's what I did for this next section. So I pulled in Sandra and I said, use the info above to create a sales page for this opt-in. And then she went through her program and she's designed to give me two options. And the first one is the AIDA version, and then the second one is the PAS version. Now, I've read through these. I like her AIDA version, which is down here. So then that has some sections in there for actual testimonials. And it's saying that it would look for some real testimonials instead of using the fake ones that it made up. So I then came down here and I have all of my testimonials in a Google Sheet. I have one for AskDotty and one for premium websites. So I attached these to Google Sheets and I asked it to pull out a few reviews from these files for the social proof section. So then it went through, pulled out several, and these are the 3 that it chose, and it told me why. So that's where we are down here. It actually added into the sales page for me. And this is the content that we're going to use to create the funnel in GoHighLevel. So there's that piece. Now, in GoHighLevel, I'm in the right account. I came down here to sites, and the first one is funnels. And I have already built some funnels in here. A lot of times, if you're in a new GoHighLevel account, whoever you bought your GoHighLevel will have some templates in here. If not, you can click New Funnel, and either from blank, which is the hardest, or you can use AI in here. I have not tried this. I don't know how well it would actually work. Or you can use some pre-built templates. I usually start with a pre-built template. But because I already have one in here, this Amplified Quick Start guide has the 4 steps that I want. So I just made a copy of it. And this, because I already built it out with my branding and everything on it, it's going to carry all of that over. So I'm just going to come in here and rename this one to what I want, and we will edit this with the new information. So the first thing I'm going to do is come in here and go to the settings of this, and it's the page, the home page is called Home Clone. That's definitely not what we want. And I'm just going to call this AI Visibility Checklist, and same thing down here. And on the path, you want to be sure to put hyphens in there to separate your words, because that's how paths work. So I'm going to update that. And I also need to change it up here, get maybe under publishing. Now the step URL cannot be exactly the same as the other URL that we just set. So I'm just going with AI visibility here. I'm going to update that step. And then this settings right here is where I'm going to change the name. I can set my own domain here if I want, which I have not purchased one for this. And here's the path for that, which is definitely the old one. And again, it can't be exactly the same as any of the other ones we did. If I had a favicon, I would put it here. And if you're doing tracking code or any of that kind of stuff, it would go in here. If this is a payment, which it's not, we would make sure that the payment live is on, image optimization, all of this stuff, just leave it on. If you're needing GDPR compliant, you would need to turn that on as well. So I'm just going to hit save for now. Some of this stuff we might come back later and do. I don't know if I'm going to buy a domain for this yet or not. And then this is, we're in the home page. If you click on it, you'll see the thank you page, a terms and conditions, and a privacy policy. So we're going to go into home and we're going to click edit. Now all the colors and everything are exactly how I want it, but I will just quickly show you in this editor how you would make changes. So the odds are your color would not be this bright purple. When you hover over one of these sections, you can click on it and an area over on the right pops up where you make changes. So in this main section, I would click on it over here and set our background color, make it anything you want. I'm not changing mine because this is the way I want mine to be. And again, you would just click on these and change the text. So I'm going to grab some text from ChatGPT and I'll probably edit and change some of it as we go. So the first heading that I would want, we come back over here to my guide and I'm just going to paste it in. And I'm going to go down my ChatGPT results and pull out the information. And then this looks just like a block of text. So we're going to go through here and edit it just a bit. If nothing else, just add some spaces. And this is coming in from my Grammarly. Okay, and I want to change this button to say the right thing. Again, I click on it. Over on the right-hand side, I can change the text right here. And you can see it changed right here. Now, this is actually linked. If we go back down here, it is linked to a section of the website down below, which is here. Scroll to element. And the element is instead of going to another page. So it's just going to zoom you down the page to the form. And when we get down to the form, we have to swap that out for a form for this guide instead of the last one. Okay, now we come down to our next section. And I'm going to grab the next section of text. And it has bullet points. You can see it's the same form as what I have been using before. And you'll see that these sections grow or shrink as you need. So now let's come down to the next section. And I will need to generate an image. I haven't done that yet. And this one I don't need, so I just hit the little garbage can. Hover over it, hit the garbage can, and it goes away. I kind of liked that this was bolded. So I'm just going to highlight again and click bold. I don't need that. And when you do this, super common thing that happens within GoHighLevel, because you can move things around by clicking and dragging, I just didn't click and then highlight. And I seem to do that a lot. It's really super annoying. Sometimes I don't catch it in time and my section actually moves. And when that happens, I come up here to this undo section and it will undo it one thing at a time. That's the easiest way to fix it. Or you can just simply click and drag it back into the place that you need it to be. And I could have went and told Chat to capitalize all of these, but I didn't think about it. And I just hit enter to get that next star to show up. And I will grab a vertical picture, or I will generate a vertical picture later that will fit this section better. And I usually use either Midjourney or Gemini to do that. Lately, I've been using Gemini. I like the nano banana that it uses. Here's a review section. Let me see what else we got over here. So we have a couple other sections before this. So I will need to add a section here. And this is actually talking about the guide itself. So in GoHighLevel, when you're hovering over something and you see these pluses, that will let you add a section. So we're going to hit plus. And this particular section, I think I want it to be 2 columns. So I'll click that. And now you see we've got 2 pluses here. So the first column, I'm going to add a subheadline. A headline is always an H1 in GoHighLevel. You only get one of those per page. Otherwise, you're breaking some SEO rules. So it's going to be a subheadline. And let me grab that. And you'll see that it's an H2. You can turn it to an H3 if you want. And over here on the left is everything that we have set, or that you can set for this. I want it to be bold, so I'm going to click bold. I personally don't really like the centered look, so I come over here to styles, and I want text align left. And you can also make that bigger, which I do want to do. So it's at 18. I'll probably put it at 22. And it just makes it bigger. So then I have some text I'm going to put under that. So I hit the plus. And now we're going to add a paragraph. And one of the things that I do find a little annoying with GoHighLevel is that it doesn't let me set stuff for the whole page. So I need to come back up here and see my text. I'm going to click in here and I'm going to look. I set it at 20 pixels normal. So now I'm going to come down here and click into that one, make this a 20. And then again, I want it left justified. So there we go. And then that is bringing up a list that's coming next. I could just continue putting this list into this box and it will give us the regular bullets that you see in Word or any other program. If I want like the stars or some other bullet type, I need to click the plus symbol and I want to come down here to a bullet list. And it gives us that. And it is also set, I believe, at 20. And this is the default. I'll show you how to change that in a minute, but I'm going to grab my list. See how it moved again? Don't want that. And I'm going to click undo because it actually moved it outside of this column when I did that. So I'm going to just go fix this. And yes, it would have been faster just to have chat, do this for me before I copied them. And I actually would like to have, I like the way that you can visually see things change, sections change based on color. So I want this section here to have a background color that's different from the one above it, which is white. And I'm going to choose this lavender color from my brand. You can pick any default or custom colors. It's up to you on that. So I'm going to choose that. And then I'm going to come down here, click into my list. And if we scroll down here, we've got the icon color is that blue looks terrible. So I'm going to click my purple. And then if there was links in there, they would be purple as well, which there's not in this. So that's how I'm going to color this. And now we come over to this side and we're going to add again a subheadline. And I can do it that way. The other thing I could do is come over here and click clone. And if I do that, it will carry over all of my settings, and I just click and drag. And then delete that one. So then make this that text. And you can see it carries all of the settings. And I'll do the same thing here. And wherever the blue line goes is where it will show up. And the same thing here. We're going to clone this one. And then just take one of them and move them over. And you'll see the list is shorter and it automatically removes the ones that we don't need. And it's also out of balance. So I could format this purple column to be the top instead of center, but I'm actually going to add another section in here. So I'm going to copy this again. Just copy this one. And we're going to move it down to right there. And then we have another list. So I'm going to copy this one. Whoops, copy that one and drag it down. And then I have one more sentence I want to copy over. And it technically would go right here, but I think I want to put it in the middle here. So see this blue box, I'm going to hit plus, and I want one column. I'm going to add a subheadline and put my sentence here. And see, this centers it amongst both columns. And I want that to be bigger. And I want it to be bold so that it looks nice under both. Then we have a next section called Who This Guide Is For and one called Trust Me. So on the green, I'm going to hit plus and I want two columns again. And I will keep the white because the next section is for the reviews, which is already here, which is purple. So I need to add again, a subheading. And again, I can just simply copy this one if I wanted to keep all the settings on that one, or copy this one, which I think I will do here. And then I'm going to drag it down and I want to drop it right there. I use copy a lot just because, again, it doesn't let us just set the format for the entire page, and I get tired of going into the settings and resetting everything. And before I actually publish this, I will come back and edit this Why Trust Me a little bit. But here we can see that this looks weird because it's off balance, and it's more normal to see the bottoms being off balance than the top. So I would go into this purple section right here and click in it, and then we get the settings over here, and I want my content alignment to be the top. Actually, I think if I put left, it bumps it up. Why it doesn't say top, I don't know. So now it's even across the top. I could add another list in here. I could do lots of things, and I will probably come back and make this a little bit longer just to balance out this page or this section. In the next section, we have reviews, and this has 3 instead of 4, and Raksha is one of them, so I'm going to leave that one, and I'm going to take out one, and it doesn't matter which one, but I'm just going to hit delete for the whole. If it's purple, it's that column. See, here's the wide section, here's the column. So I'm going to delete that column, which adjusts the rest of them because now it's 3 columns instead of 4. And Raksha's is here, so I'm going to leave that one exactly as it is. And then take this one that it pulled out from my sheet and paste it in. It's a different person, which I will go to Facebook and grab their profile picture. And I'll look and see what she calls herself on Facebook and change that. And then this next one, I will do the same thing. And you'll see here, you have one word that comes over. I personally hate that. So to fix that, I am just going to, I really don't need to highlight it. Just click in the box. I'm going to bump these up 1 from 16 to 17. And that's better. And we look at 18. About the same. How about 19? There we go. That'll work. So then I'll make all of these 19. And then we get one word there. Let me try this one. And I will come back and figure out how to get this so that you don't have just one word down there. It just, I don't know, it looks weird, bothers me. So now we've got the last section, which is get the free guide, download. So I've got the form here, which is what I actually need. But I want to add in here a subheadline, and I want it above the form, and just get the free guide now. And I want that to be bigger, and I'm okay with that being centered, but I think I want to do that. And probably not quite that big, just to, again, pull it all onto one line. Okay, there's the form, which we will change in just a minute. And then we also have a frequently asked questions. This is really done for SEO or for people that just love looking at frequently asked questions. So to do that, I need to add another section. There's the green. Sometimes it's hard to catch it right. And when that happens, I usually just come up to this one. And I want a 1 column, and I wanted it below. So again, I can move it. So that's exactly what I wanted. Couldn't make it work with their buttons. And again, undo, puts it back where I wanted it. I just copied and pasted them in here. As you can see, it needs to be formatted. I want the question bolded. And then I want the answer to have a space. Whoops, hit the wrong one. Here's the next question. Okay, so that's the easy way to do frequently asked questions. Just do it as a text box. You can come over here. I'm just going to show this to you. And I believe they have a section, an FAQ section. You can click, drag it over here, and then it gives you title, answer, and this gives you the drop-down boxes like this. So I will actually come in here and move this into this format just because I like the format, but I wanted to show you, you don't have to be that fancy. You can just simply use this. So now when we're all done, this is somewhat all done, we want to click save up here, and it's going to pop over your SEO and AI search optimization. So you come in here and you fill this out, which I will come back and do for this, and put in keywords, make myself the author, attach an image. I need to generate an image for this section, and I'll use the same image here, and then hit save once you make those changes. I'm not going to publish yet because I'm not quite ready. One last very important thing is the form in here is not the right form at the moment. So I want to save everything. I want to come back, and I want to come over here to forms and go to my builder. And I want to do an opt-in form. And these are the ones that I already have. This is the one that I copied, this is the funnel that I copied. So I'm going to copy this form. Go over here. I'm going to duplicate it. And we're going to change the name. AI visibility checklist. And I try to name everything the same across all the different things. The workflow that we'll create will be named the AI visibility checklist as well. Therefore, my brain doesn't have to work to figure out what goes with what. And I'm going to click on that. It will bring up the form. Same form, first name, last name, email, and obviously we need to change this. And I just simply type in there. What I'm going to do is keep it simple. Here we go. Now I want to check out what I have set over here. So in your notifications, first time I made a form here, I was like, why am I not getting anything when someone downloads this? And here's why. Because I didn't have my notification set. So I'm just going to add this in here and change this name. And what this does is it sends me a notification when someone downloads this so that I know. I could turn on an autoresponder here, but I don't want to. I want to put it into a workflow. So I'm going to click save on that. And then over here in the settings, it's set for message, or I can have a redirect URL. But the reality is this doesn't matter because it's going to go to the next step in the funnel that we're looking at. So I'm going to just ignore this. And of course, here's where you'd find out who has submitted this, which clearly nobody has because it's a brand new list. So then I want to hit save. And I called this AI visibility checklist. Come back over here. We're going to go back to the funnels. We're going to go back into the funnel we were working on. And we need to edit the home step. And I'm going to come down to this form. Click on that, and I want to choose the right form, which is now in this list. It wouldn't have been in the list before because we hadn't made the form yet. And under this button actions, go to website URL, website, or go to next step. And we want go to next step. So I'm going to click save, and then we come back over here. Just to show you, here's the next step. and it's the thank you page. Now, I'm not going to take the time right now to edit this, but it's exactly the same. So this is the next step. This is how it's going to be showing up in your thing. So you want to put a download link if you want it here, or you can just say check your email because it's going to be downloaded there. It's up to you. Put whatever image graphic you want in here. Just basically change this one just like the last one. I would come into terms and conditions and just change whatever's relevant to this specific download and be done with this step. Then the last thing that we have to do is come over into our automations. And we have opt-in automations right here, opt-in, put it all in a folder so I don't get lost. And I want to actually copy the same one, Amplify Quick Starter Kit. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to clone this one or duplicate workflow. And I'm going to call it the same thing. And I'm going to click create. It's going to pull over everything that was in the last one. So I just click here, and I'll need to change the trigger to be the correct form because it'll be the wrong one. Okay, so I just click into this trigger. It opens up over here, form submitted, form is the AI visibility checklist, save trigger. And I've already got this built out. I mean, right now it's for the wrong one, but I literally have to come in here and just change the emails, what I want to say, the workflows, change the PDF that gets set. And then when I'm all done, I just click save and publish. Publish and save. And that's really the whole thing. So we have created our content using ChatGPT. We have altered it somewhat. I'm going to go back and alter it a little bit more. We've created our funnel by duplicating one we already have and then just changing it. And we've created our thank you page. We created our form and our workflow for delivering everything. Now, it's not totally done yet. I probably have about a half an hour's more worth of work on this. And it took me 50 minutes that I've been recording this. And of course, that process has been explaining, and I've gone a little bit slower than I normally would. But generally, for a funnel with a simple workflow like this, using this method, it takes me about an hour from beginning to end. So that is how I use GoHighLevel's funnels for all of my opt-in pages.